What's up YouTube, back again with another video on Thursday, not Wednesday. I got a little bit busy yesterday, so I didn't really shoot anything. I'm starting off with my Bosemani's tank, my rainbows, and they're in the 30 gallon, they're just chilling. Today's topic is actually about how I feed and what I pay attention to when I feed. So not so much what I feed, because right now I don't have the most quality food. I just kind of have like a just regular, I believe they're Tetra Flakes. But yeah, so basically what I do is when I feed is, I can actually just show you. I have some flake food here. I'm gonna do this with one hand, so might be a little bit shaky, but bear with me. Alright, so I'm just gonna feed them up top. There they go. So what I do when I feed is I try to observe all the fish. You know, see if they're greedily eating. Like, so all these rainbows right here, they're all dashing towards the surface trying to get as much food as they can, and you know, they finished it in about, I would say, less than 30 seconds. Definitely less than 30 seconds. So what I do is when I feed, I try to observe every fish, see if you know, they're eating a lot, or if they're eating at all, because their appetite should reflect, you know, their health somewhat. So a greedy fish or a healthy fish will always dash to the surface, always seem hungry, at least in respect of rainbow fish, or generally most fish, in my experience. And then another thing I do is when they eat, it gives me a chance to, you know, some fish are a little bit finicky, so they'll be hiding, so it's harder to see them. But it gives me a chance to observe the fish, you know, to see if the fish is actually healthy, or if it has any blemishes or wounds on the actual fish itself. So it gives me a chance to, you know, make like a visual inspection of all my fish. So yeah, so that's what I do when I feed my fish. So right now in all these tanks, all these rainbows, they look healthy. They're really alert. They all seem hungry, so there's not a problem there. Another thing is you got to be careful with like this Grommy up here. This guy is actually a really slow eater. So most of these rainbows will actually outcompete him for the food. So he'll just still be scavenging when there's no food left. So I have to be careful like how I feed them too. So I have to like not overfeed, but like I have to make sure the Grommy actually gets his fair share of food when I actually feed. So yeah, that's a problem with really I guess hyper fish, mixing a hyper fish with a slower fish, or a slower eating fish, I guess. But yeah, so those are Bosemani's. I'll probably move over to this tank. Right over here. 10 gallon. Yeah, there you go. So these guys are looking good. The plants are looking a little bit better, I guess. I don't know if I made an update video on the plants and how they actually reacted to the medication. Now, last video, I think I had the tanks that are a little bit, tad bit yellow. They're dyed yellow from the medication. At the time, I didn't think the plants minded the medication in the tank, but I didn't notice that my Java ferns were all melting back. So, as you can see in front of the camera, there's like a bush of dead Java ferns, which is kind of unfortunate because they grow really slow. So it kind of sucks. As soon as I noticed that, I actually just drained the whole tank, and I replaced it with a newer water. So trying to get that Java fern to bounce back. If not, then I'll learn my lesson from treating the whole tank with plants in it. But I hope this Java fern bounces back, but it doesn't look like it is gonna, because the leaves are totally brown. But yeah, so again, I'm gonna feed this tank also. So what I want to look for is how active are the fish. So usually I just, you know, show them the little tray, and they look like they really want to eat. So I'll just drop it in there, and I observe, you know, who's eating, who's not. I take a mental note. So say that a fish isn't eating, I'll see if it's like you know, lethargic and kind of hiding in the corner, not really paying attention to the food, because that's probably a sign of a parasite or illness. So you really want to keep an eye out for, you know, fish that don't eat. And it looks like everyone's eating in here. Yeah, so it's pretty good. Down here I have, I believe I explained it in the last video, I have just cucumbers on a fork to weigh down the cucumber, and the cucumber is actually for the plecos I have in here. Now they'll come up and they'll you know, gnaw away at this cucumber throughout the day. So yeah, that's why I have that in there. So yeah, another good rule of thumb is, you know, you never really want to overfeed your fish. Overfeeding is not a good thing, especially with flake food. Flake food, you know, the quantity that you feed them, you know, it seems like a little and like really small, but you have to keep in mind that, you know, all that food is high quality food, like very compact into those flakes. So I guess I would say a little goes a long way. You know, a problem with a lot of fish keepers is we overfeed because, you know, it's fun, you know. That's, you know, watching your fish eat is enjoyable. So that's what I would say. That's one of the problems that a lot of people have, is they overfeed and the tank gets all algae bloom and it gets all dirty. So maintenance, it causes you to, you know, maintain your tank a lot more frequently. So yeah, I mean, don't overfeed your fish. That's never a good thing, because, you know, if you overfeed your fish, then, you know, your water quality is going to go down, and potentially, you know, you might get like ammonia spikes and stuff like that. So yeah, you never want that. So bouncing over to the new tank, or not the new tank, another tank. This was a medicated tank earlier also. I did remove the medication because it was actually burning my plants, and you can probably see that in the middle. That plant is a Thor's hammer. It's one of my, I guess, they say it's a more like a rare species of Java fern. Camera's kind of shaky, but I think it's just a less common. It just hasn't made its way really into the trade, I guess. I haven't seen it really like sold at any stores or anything like that. I actually bought this one online. I won't be feeding this tank because I actually fed it right before this video, but I'll feed my 40-gallon breeder. I could make my way up here. Alrighty, so yeah, you can tell definitely these guys are hungry. You know, I just show them the flake food and they'll go straight up to the corner. And I want to do the same exact thing with them. I just feed them. There you go. You can see them all, you know, jumping around at the surface trying to get as much food as they can. And then, you know, now is a good time to like observe the fish and see if, you know, they got any damage on their fins or any awkward growths. Right now I can't see anything. But yeah, so I do this every feeding. Feed about like 2 or 3 times a day. Really small feedings, not huge. But yeah, I definitely use the opportunity to, you know, observe my fish and how they're acting, if they're eating, if they have any damage on them, and yeah, and definitely feed them because it's fun to watch. Because who doesn't like watching, you know, their fish eat? It's kind of cool. Yeah, but that's about it. Pretty sure I didn't cover everything, but it's just a, you know, quick little video. I'll probably end with this guy because this guy never comes out. Chinese algae eater. This guy's huge. Not really huge, but I mean, I got him when he was like less than an inch, so he's grown a lot. But yeah, so I'll probably update you guys a little bit later on this week, and thanks for watching. Bye.